Welcome to Wales and welcome to the Cardiff Triathlon. This event provides a unique opportunity for over 1,000 triathletes to race on closed roads right at the heart of a capital city. After making a successful debut last year, this event is back and it's delivering on its promise to become unmissable. There are more competitors, more top-class athletes to make a race of it, and with it, more first-class action. Let's join our commentator, Patrick Winterton.
After 61 years as Wales's capital, Cardiff is, of course, the nation's centre for business, art and sport. A packed Millennium Stadium in full voice at a Six Nations International should be experienced by all sports fans, but that is not all that Cardiff is about. The Velothon, the UK's biggest cycle sportive, held here annually. The Half Marathon World Championships held here earlier this year. But today is all about triathlon, and Cardiff Bay will be full of neoprene-clad athletes rather than the sailing boats. And after last year's inaugural event, the entry for 2016 has almost doubled. Well, there are 3 different distances on offer this year: the super sprint, the sprint and the Olympic. And it's the Olympic distance triathlon that we're going to focus on today. A swim of some 1,500 metres. That will take the best athletes just under the 20-minute mark. And then on to the bikes. 40 kilometres for the Olympic distance. It's flat, it's fast, 1 or 2 tight turns, but a really exciting course. And as an added bonus, the roads are traffic-free. Well, after the bike ride, a 10,000 metre run for the Olympic distance athletes once again. It's a really painful finish, but it's flat. It's a spectacular course once again, working its way around Cardiff Bay, past so many of the sites in Cardiff as well, and then back to the Millennium Centre for the finish. Now, there are plenty of athletes here who've had a struggle to get to the race, but perhaps none as much as Rob and Poppy Jones. Theirs is a phenomenal story that we'll catch up with later on. Everyone looking forward to the finish, but there's plenty of work to do before then. The transition, the start, all taking place in Place Roald Dahl, which is the perfect area for the start of a triathlon. Beautiful amphitheatre, and should be a great atmosphere there. And someone who knows exactly what to expect is Eloise Crowley, the winner of the women's event last year, and she's back to defend that title.
Last year was buzzing in the rain as well, so fingers crossed we've got the weather on our side too, so that'll just be perfect. It's definitely growing. It's going to grow every year. I mean, last year was busy for the first year. Even the spectators, it was fantastic.
As the neoprene goes on, the nerves start to kick in, and there's no pulling out of the race at this stage. Chris Silver is a man who's back to try and improve on last year's performance. He finished second behind David Bishop.
It was a really big event last year, really well supported. Last year was, I think, the first big one here, and great to be swimming in the bay in such a beautiful location.
And as they take the plunge, they'll be focused on their aim for the day. I'm sure Richard Ebbage will be hoping for a win, a Royal Marine. He's good on the bike and the running, but he does have a weak discipline.
Good strong bike, good strong run. It's just the swimming really. It's not down to 17 minutes, but it's around about the 20-minute zone, you know, so if I can get out in the top 15, should be all right. Should be able to hold my own anyway on the bike and the run, so we'll see.
Well, we will, and he's certainly going to have some stiff competition as they get underway. The elite men, 1,500 metres in the water to start their day. Now, we've got some good swimmers. Elliot is good, Alex Thorley's a very good swimmer, Tom Lewin can swim a bit. And then on the bike, we'll be looking for the likes of Chris Silver. I guess Joseph Ricciardi's also pretty hot when it comes to the biking stage. And Richard Ebbage, we've already seen, certainly fancies his chances. Well, what a day it's going to be, and 1 or 2 celebs have turned up. Now, celebrities tend to come and go in sport, but that is not the case with Shane Williams. He's got the bug, he's got the kit, he's got that competitive drive, and this is triathlon number 4 for him.
It's my first Olympic event today. You know, I've been struggling with the sprint, if I'm honest. 750 metre swim for me is a long way. I got to double it today, so that's going to be interesting. And the course is a real fast course. It's nice and flat, which is great. And I can't wait for it to be started. That's why I'm here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I think the sun is trying to poke his head out, and hopefully the rain stays away. But it's going to be a great day.
Now, Shane Williams isn't the only one who struggles with the swim. TV presenter Gethin Jones would rather there was another sport in there, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on.
If we get out of the water and we're feeling okay, then it'll be enjoyable. But I think the swim, regardless of the fact it's flat, regardless of the fact I know this water, it's still a bit chilly at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Now, the expense goes way beyond the entry fee. Wetsuits, trainers, even wheels and high-tech frames are needed.
A new bike for the occasion?
Yeah, I spent some money.
It's going to make all the difference, surely.
Well, fingers crossed, yeah.
So we'll see whether Matthew Pritchard's money is well spent as we head back to the elite men who are coming towards the end of their swim. David Bishop did 17:32 last year. It looks as though the leaders are well ahead of that. Ben Elliott's in there, 16:50. The unofficial time at the moment. Alex Thorley coming out just behind him, and then there's a gap of some 10 seconds back to the next swimmer. It's Tom Lewin who's third out, and then a decent gap of 30 seconds or so, 50 metres back to the next group of 2 or 3 swimmers. But that's a great swim from Ben Elliott. Both Elliott and Thorley come from swimming backgrounds. Just looking at their averages, 1:07 for each 100 metres swum. That is class swimming at this level of triathlon. Really good effort from them. You can see the times of the other swimmers. Silver is off the pace by some 35-40 seconds. Ricciardi is down. Richard Ebbage over a minute and a half behind. He'll be a kilometre or so behind these by the time he gets onto the bike. 40 k's the distance. How long can Thorley hang on? The red helmet belonging to Ben Elliott, just a little bit slow to get himself ready, and Tom Lewin will be just behind him on the bike. Thorley, as I say, on his own, and he has a choice. Does he go hard, or does he just enjoy a few easy minutes to get into the pace? Ben Elliott and Tom Lewin. Lewin on the left of your picture, just going past Elliott. And both of them 12 seconds down on Alex Thorley, the race leader. Interested to see how Chris Silver's done. Here he is, and he's alongside Joseph Ricciardi. Ricciardi from the Isle of Man going past Chris Silver. Silver, remember, the runner-up last year. They were 44 seconds behind coming out of transition, but they're gaining fast, and Silver has to stay in touch if he wants to win this time round.
Hopefully I can go one better this year. I think my preparation's gone well, so yeah, I'm feeling confident that I can do it.
And Chris Silver making every effort to stay with Ricciardi, who's moved into second. Silver now third, and they've gone ahead of both Lewin and Elliott. Long way to go, no sign of Richard Ebbage, and a reminder that Ebbage, the Royal Marine, a minute and a half off the pace of the leaders out of the water. Well, here he is, coming out of T1. He's got a lot of work to do.
Obviously, there's a lot of corners, a lot of roundabouts, a lot of dead turns. It might not work for me.
Well, we'll see how Ebbage gets on. He's pretty good at running off the bike, and that's going to be vitally important because he's going to have to push some on the bike today. He says he doesn't like it technical, but I don't think he's going to struggle that much. Matthew Pritchard all geared up, ready to go. Phase 1 complete. And Shane Williams is out of the water as well. Just over 26 minutes for his 1500 metre swim. I think he'll be happy with that. And he's pretty handy on the bike. Gethin Jones raising money for his autism charity. Good luck to him with that today. Here comes Shane Williams, and the bike certainly his favoured discipline in triathlon. Eloise Crowley, who won the women's event last year. Now, the women start in their own wave in this race, and that certainly makes it a fairer competition compared to when they start amongst the men. Bethan Hughes, well, she didn't have quite such a good experience last year.
Had a little spill last year, so meant I didn't complete the race, so I crashed on the bike. So this year it would be good to get the whole race in and get my money's worth.
Another returnee is Lauren Rowe, who finished third in last year's race, and she's run the London Marathon recently and looks to be on good form.
Did it last year and it's really good fun, really good course, so training's been going well. Looking forward to it. I used to live in Cardiff for 6 years at the uni, which is where I started triathlon, and moved to London last summer. I miss being here, so yeah, should be good.
This is the women's wave underway, and no surprise to see Eloise Crowley out front yet again. She's a brilliant swimmer. 20 minutes it took her last year. 18:42 her time for the 1500 metres this time round. Well, that's impressive. Could be fitness, partly conditions. Much nicer day than we had a year ago. Second out is Lauren Rowe, 19:38, so she's lost a little time.
Head down on that bike course and just run as hard as I can. That's my plan. There's more people here this year, so it's going to be tough.
Well, it certainly will be, and we're going to find out what Eloise Crowley is made of. We know she's on good form. Raced recently in Swansea and won that race. And this is Lauren Rowe, a member of the Serpentine Running Club, having moved from Cardiff to London. Karen Shimin, well, she's a fantastic athlete. Qualified for Kona in 2014. Watch out for her as the race goes on. And then Bethan Hughes, who's a very good cyclist indeed, 37 years old, from Chester, wants to complete this time round. The men up front on the road. Alex Thorley still leading since T1. He's had a good day so far. Silva, Lewin, Ricciardi all moving at a similar pace. But this is the man who's gaining. Richard Ebbage is flying. 1:30 off everyone in the first 20 kilometres. The Royal Marine is moving like a machine.
Welcome back to the Cardiff Triathlon. Over 1,000 athletes are here to swim in the Cardiff Bay before taking to a fast and flat course. The cycle route around the city is on closed roads. The running route then takes in the famous barrage, and the finish line is in front of this iconic Wales Millennium Centre. The battle in the men's and women's is well underway, so let's rejoin our commentator, Patrick Winterton.
Well, Richard Ebbage is still the man on the move. He was 8th out of the water, and he's now up into 2nd place, averaging 44 kilometres an hour, and closing down on Alex Thorley, the race leader. Thorley surely is aware by now that there's someone on his tail. Ricciardi doing well to stay with Ebbage over the last couple of miles, but Thorley is about to see what it's all about. I think he might get a shock here. He looks focused, but he's not focused on the right thing. Ebbage, on the other hand, is working at 100%. He is now the race leader, and it's going to be a tough job for anyone to catch him. Well, 1 or 2 moving at a slightly more leisurely pace. Shane Williams forced wide on that corner. Here's Eloise Crowley, that characteristic tilt of the head, cautiously round the top of the turn. Now she's one who knows why Cardiff has got so popular so soon.
To have a closed road in Britain, you don't get that often. We don't get the opportunities to actually race on closed roads. It's encouraging more people to take part, so they've got more confidence because there's no traffic. So hopefully we'll get more events on closed roads.
Well, Crowley's had a very slow start, but Lauren Rowe in red is moving much better. She's taken a minute out of last year's champion, but Karen Shimin is the one who's moving best of all. 22:08 over the first 14 kilometres, and she moves into the front of the race for the first time. Shimin, now the woman to catch, and Bethan Hughes also cycling well, but a little way behind. Now, it's all been about individuals so far, but there is one incredible team effort going on out in the water. This is Poppy Jones, an 11-year-old from Abergavenny. Poppy was born with quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and her dream has been to complete a triathlon. Now, not only is it her first ever triathlon, but it's also her dad Rob's first ever triathlon as well. And at Christmas, he couldn't swim 2 lengths. He's already completed the swim. And now off they go on the bike, raising money for Cerebra, and I hope they're hugely successful.
It's going really well. Feels really good. Lots of support. Fantastic. Poppy's loving it.
Amazing! Come on, guys.
And as I'm sure many of you know, it's a life-limiting condition, but she's living it to the full today. In the men's race, our clear leader now, and moving very well, Richard Ebbage, who's shown a clean pair of wheels to everyone else in the second half of the bike ride. He's first into the transition, T2 as it's known, from the bike to the feet. And this is such a crucial part. He has this unique style in the transition where he holds onto the bike for balance. It's not easy putting a pair of shoes on with two hands, let alone one, but he's achieved that, and away he goes. Well, he's got so much potential, this young man, when he can improve his swim and maybe get a few seconds out of each transition. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. 10,000 metres, and he looks to be well into his running already. What will the margin be? Ricciardi, second best on the bike today, the man from the Isle of Man. Long loping stride he's got, and he's going to be chased down by Chris Silver, second place last year. Silver does not want to be runner-up again. Karen Shimin, the leader in the women's. Now, we know when she gets the run, she'll be quick. She's the Isle of Man 1500 metre champion. Here she goes. Plas Roald Dahl, such a good venue for the transition area. Bethan Hughes has had a good bike ride. She'll be delighted to have completed that. Now she can show what she can do on the run. And Lauren Rowe up amongst the leaders as well. There's Bethan Hughes, just playing safe. I can think of a few athletes who wouldn't be able to get up again having taken their seat on the ground. But she's a good runner, nice and fluent. And Rowe and Crowley exit the transition area together. Those two have had a battle royal so far today. Well, here are the leading men. We've got Ricciardi leading this group of three, Thorley behind him, Chris Silver making ground. And coming the other way, having gone round the dead turn, it is the race leader, Richard Ebbage. Now, the other three can start their stopwatches and they'll find out exactly how far behind the race leader they are. Silver has a little glance. Well, perhaps he's looking at his pace, wanting to make sure he's not overcooking it in the early stages. But if he wants to win, he has got to throw caution to the wind. Ricciardi in purple is about to go down to third and soon to be fourth. Still looks as though he's got his cycle legs on, very heavy, slow cadence as well. Silver looking in much better shape, but can he catch this man? Ebbage doesn't necessarily look as though he's built for triathlon when you compare him to the Brownlee brothers, but my goodness, he is a powerhouse. Shane Williams, phase 2 complete, and once again another good time, only just over the hour for the 40 kilometres. He'll be delighted with that. Now he's got to show that he can run. Matthew Pritchard away on the run as Richard Ebbage rounds the back of the Millennium Centre and down the home straight. It's going to be a brilliant time, 1:50.05. Well, that is class.
Definitely up there with one of the best events I've done in the UK. The course was good, the spectators were good as well, the atmosphere is great, so I'd definitely come back next year and do it again.
Chris Silver, runner-up yet again.
A little bit gutted, but can't really complain. Richard just absolutely smashed the bike, so I just couldn't stick with it.
So two good performances there, 2 minutes 7 seconds between first and second. Alex Thorley, who was first out of the water, hangs on to third. He gets himself on the podium ahead of Lewin and Ricciardi. In the women's race, Eloise Crowley, last year's winner, down in fourth this time round. Karen Shimin's the lady who leads, having gone from 2 minutes behind after the swim to 2 minutes ahead of everyone after the bike ride. And she's backed it up with a good run as well. We have a new champion here in Cardiff.
Really pleased. The support is fantastic. It's great. I'd definitely do it again.
An excellent run from Lauren Rowe to move up into second.
Really happy with that, really enjoyed it. The run was tough, but good. It's always nice on the barrage, yeah.
And Bethan Hughes makes it this time round.
It's nice to finish on the podium. I came last year and crashed on the bike, so it's nice to get around the whole course this year.
And so let's have a look at the women's results. Shimin, Rowe, Hughes sharing those podium positions, and Eloise Crowley down in 4th place.
But again, it was just the crowds are amazing, cheering, and it's just, I love this race, you know, and to win it last year was a bonus.
I suspect she'll be back to have another crack at it next year. So many great individual performances here today, and Shane Williams has been outstanding as well. 1:04 on the bike and a 45-minute run to wrap it up. He's getting better.
I really enjoyed it. I swam in a straight line for a change. The bike was obviously very quick because it was a flat course, a lot of twists and turns, which I enjoyed. The run went surprisingly okay. The whole sport all the way around was fantastic, and it does help you, it cheers you on. You know, you go a little bit faster on the bike and you go a little bit on the run when someone's shouting your name.
And TV presenter Gethin Jones down the home straight, an hour and a half to complete the sprint distance.
I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I loved it. And like with any of these events, it's about the crowd, and it's such a buzz. Every time you come into transition, it really sort of eggs you on. So really chuffed to have completed it with my friend Sean, so really happy. If the crowd's like this and the event is building every year, we'll be back.
And Dirty Sanchez star Matthew Pritchard across the line.
Brilliant, absolutely amazing event. But the only bad thing about support, they make so much noise, you go faster, and then when you pass them, you go, oh, what have I done? Because your lungs are going,
And here come Rob and Poppy Jones raising money for Cerebra. So far the total over £5,000. What a fantastic effort from them. Both of them doing their first ever triathlons.
We didn't know if it was a good idea or a bad idea at the beginning. The transitions are probably the parts you have to be most careful. You know, getting pops out of the water, getting onto the bike. Once you get going, it's fantastic. The support from the other runners was amazing. Everyone was cheering us on when they popped. Everyone was cheering us on.
Best thing I've ever done. The sport was really, really good. The bells keep you going.
Really good atmosphere, like there was a lot of crowds, so you felt really supported all the way around. It was really good. Great fun. This is the first one I've ever done. I was so nervous, but it was fantastic.
Well, that's it from another Cardiff Triathlon. Congratulations to all our prize winners, but also to everyone who's completed this unique event. What an opportunity to compete on closed roads around a buzzy capital city. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage, and we'll see you again soon.